business. When your marketing and advertising collateral doesn't convert the way you need it to, it doesn't just hurt your bottom line, it can cripple your confidence as a marketer. Since the vast majority of small business owners must act as their own marketing department, this can be devastating for your business. On top of that, the frustration of having to constantly rewrite, revise, and redesign underperforming ads can make marketing seem like a tedious chore instead of the enjoyable exercise in persuasion it's meant to be. Fortunately, there are simple but powerful ways to create highly effective marketing that first time. Marketing that gets prospects emotionally invested and ready to buy your product or service. Just remember the major point we have been reinforcing over and over throughout this business growth series. Prospects buy based on emotion. That's why it's essential that you get in touch with the pain your prospects bring to the table. Features won't sell your product or service. Solution-oriented benefits will. Let your prospects know that you can fix the kinds of things that keep them up at night. Before you even begin to try and impress your prospects with your incredible offer, you've got to show them that your solution is relevant to their specific situation. You must get yourself in tune with the pain points that are compelling them to buy. Why are they searching for your particular product or service? What's holding them back, causing them stress, or making them break out into a cold sweat? Take the time to step into your target customer's shoes and get a sense of what they're feeling. What are the most important pain points that they care about? The ones that make them say, I'd buy this solution in a heartbeat if I felt confident it would really work. You want to frame your product or service as the thing that makes their pain go away. This presentation will teach you the hidden secrets behind the creation of compelling marketing and advertising. We're going to provide you with the tools, the resources, the templates, and the support that will result in you becoming a marketing maven. With our guidance and support, you will now begin to create an industry-dominating marketing program. This will give you the unprecedented ability to attract clients at will, attract them with greater frequency at a lower cost, and with total and complete confidence and certainty. Now, the key to creating effective and compelling marketing is to know the secrets to getting your prospects to take action. Remember, you're trying to get them to show up at a very specific marketing channel so you can convert them from a prospect to a client. This requires a thorough and complete understanding of what we keep referring to as persuasion marketing. The business owner who understands how to create messages, ads, and marketing collateral that follows a persuasion format can literally gain the ability to dominate their market. Persuasion marketing is simply organizing the buying and selling processes so you can present compelling information about your product or service that will persuade your prospects to take a specific action. Your marketing should not only educate your prospects, it should persuade your prospects. With persuasion marketing, you strive to be successful in addressing the wants and needs of all prospects in such a way that you continue to move them through their various stages of decision making. The problem is that today, most marketing experts resort to all sorts of tips, tricks, tools, and gimmicks in a futile attempt to convert a prospect into a client. None of these actually work for very long. Prospects are subjected to them so frequently that they've wised up to the trickery. They have become jaded, skeptical, and distrustful. For any business owner to become successful today, they must provide their prospects with an experience focused on the basic fundamentals of human nature. We have previously covered those fundamentals in tremendous detail. We want to make sure we drive them home to you, since these fundamentals can make or break your business. Fail to understand them, and you will never build the business of your dreams. Let's quickly review these basic human fundamentals. They will always apply as long as human beings roam the planet. Fundamental number 1, all prospects want the best deal. Fundamental number 2, always market to the negative. Fundamental number 3, prospects buy based on emotion and only use logic to justify their purchase. Fundamental number 4, prospects want to buy from a business that's unique. Fundamental number 5, prospects buy extraordinary value, not price. Fundamental number 6, you must be able to communicate your uniqueness and extraordinary value to your prospects. Fundamental number 7, Prospects buy what they want, not what they need. Fundamental number 8, an undisturbed prospect will never buy. Fundamental number 9, prospects will do anything to avoid pain, but little to obtain pleasure. And fundamental number 10, prospects don't care about you or your business. They only care about themselves. Remember the letters WIIFM. They stand for what's in it for me. So how do you include these fundamentals when you create persuasive marketing? This is where the marketing equation comes into play. The marketing equation of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer is the standard model to follow. You must follow that format with all of your marketing collateral. Never forget that it's based on one of the oldest and most durable models known in marketing. It actually helps small business owners appeal to exactly what it is a consumer wants emotionally, and if you remember, prospects buy based on emotion. Since that's the case, you want to create marketing messages that are so powerful and compelling, that have so much impact that your prospects are practically forced to take a specific action. That action, of course, is mapped out in your sales process, and it's an action that's designed to advance your prospects closer to the final sale. That action varies depending on your sales process as well as your business. It may be to pick up the phone and call for more information, or to set up an appointment, walk into your store and buy something you have on sale, or possibly go to your website and get involved with your business in a myriad of ways. Keep in mind that for any type of marketing to work, it must do 3 things. It must grab your prospect's attention, it must help them gather information and make a good decision, and it must give them a low or no risk way to prove to themselves that your product or service does what you say it does, so they take the next step. Now, to help ensure that you always include these 3 principles, all you need to do is follow the marketing equation for every piece of marketing you develop. Interrupt, engage, educate, and offer is the basic overall format to use in all of your marketing efforts. However, we pride ourselves in always providing you with cutting-edge, state-of-the-art, innovative processes that keep you far ahead of your competition. While 99.9% of your competitors know nothing about the marketing equation, and using it alone can give you a massive competitive advantage, we want to position you light years ahead of your competition. So when we create marketing, we double the emotional impact by using the marketing equation with another time-tested and consistently proven basic fundamental that directly impacts the decision-making process: repetition. The more we hear or see something, the more comfortable we are with it, and the more likely we are to buy it. Why do you think branding works? And why do you think branding is so ineffective for small business owners? They don't have the money to flash their brand 10,000 times so that prospects get comfortable with it. Coca-Cola does, Pepsi does, and those obviously work. When you have millions of dollars to spend on marketing and years to invest for that marketing to take hold. In this process, we combine repetition with the marketing equation to produce highly compelling, emotion-laden marketing and advertising messages and formats. Do you remember the old saying, tell them what you're going to tell them, tell them what you told them? This refers to the most common and effective of all messaging construction methods. It basically divides every presentation into 3 parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. And although this method is time-tested and proven, like most old-time methods, it has lost most of its effectiveness due to the proliferation of marketing. We modified it to fit the new marketing paradigm that exists today, and then combined it with the marketing equation to produce a one-of-a-kind marketing format that will position your business so far ahead of your competition that you will literally leave them in the dust. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them. The first 2 components are still spot on. When you're trying to convince a prospect to buy what you sell, the best way to initially get your information into their minds is to literally tell them what you're going to say. This prepares their minds in advance of the information to come, which is presented to them in that introduction. And then you actually tell them or educate them in the body copy. Other factors to know about this have to do with primacy, which refers to those things that come first. and recency, which refers to those things that come last. Prospects remember what they see and hear at the beginning of a presentation, also at the end. Take yourself back to high school for a moment. After you studied a lesson for an hour, the teacher would say, "Okay, let's quickly review what we've covered this morning." Do you remember their next words? Probably not. As soon as you realized you were going to review previously covered information, you mentally shut down and started preparing to leave class. We all know that when you look at something that was previously covered, you're at the very beginning of a repetitive action. Prospects then think to themselves, subconsciously, been there, done that. Marketers cannot afford to become repetitive. It's deadly. Repetition today is considered boring and unnecessary. Merely by suggesting that the class should go back over their work, the teacher hands them an we've been here before mindset, and so their attention drifts. You remember doing that same thing, don't you? You immediately started to sweep your pen and ruler into your bag while whispering to a classmate to wait for you outside of class. In other words, you stopped listening. The exact same attention drift occurs in marketing. Don't put your prospects in that state of mind. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them is dead on. If we change that third component to say, don't tell them what you told them, so what should you do instead? Well, the ideal way to conclude your marketing involves the use of two highly specific components. They should resell your primary message, which is the headline of your ad, and then issue a compelling call to action. Let's examine those last two components in depth. First, resell the primary message. For example, let's say your marketing message involves stock market investing, and your headline says, "How to completely avoid devastating investment losses in the stock market." Your subheadline says, "4 proven techniques help you know what to buy, when to buy, and when to sell it for maximum profit." The body copy of your ad would go on to explain the 4 techniques and list them as major subtopics. For example, technical analysis made simple, foolproof ways to short any stock, traps all young investors must avoid, and how to use disciplined trading. Your headline set an expectation in your prospect's mind about what was to come. But as the conclusion of your ad, you simply paraphrase your title in terms of the general points you covered. You would write a concluding paragraph that might say something like, "So, as you can see, using these 4 technical trading techniques properly will make you a lot of money in the market." The promise in the headline and subheadline has been turned into a reality, and it's only the headline and subheadline that is revisited without getting into all of the body copy components. You're re-emphasizing what you want your audience to know and understand, repeating the single message you want them to absorb. You first resell the primary message. Then the second component is the call to action. Your final marketing message should be a familiar one to anyone who has ever watched an ad. You always end your marketing message with a specific call to action. Hurry while stocks last. Call this number now, or test drive your new BMW this afternoon. That line at the bottom of every print ad or spoken during both radio and television commercials is telling you to do something. It's an order, not a request. It's the confirmation of your take-home message. So, for our investing example, you might end this ad by saying something like, "To get started on successful investing, attend a 90-minute presentation tonight at the Hilton beginning at 7 p.m. Now, let's take this newly structured methodology and combine it with the marketing equation of interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. These are the 4 major structural components you must always follow when creating any type of marketing message. These 4 form the framework of the ad itself. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them. Forms the basic syntax or flow of the wording in the ad. So here's how they work together synergistically. The interrupt is always the attention-grabbing headline. It must emotionally resonate with your ideal prospect by hitting them squarely in their hot-button issues. It must address a major problem, frustration, fear, or concern that's currently taking place in their life. If you word the headline properly, you immediately grab the attention of the prospect. You interrupt them and simultaneously pre-qualify them as having that specific problem. Anyone without that problem won't be interested in your ad, which is exactly what you want to have happen. You're looking for ideal clients, not unqualified, time-consuming, never going to buy what you sell prospects. At the exact same time, that headline is interrupting and pre-qualifying them. It's also telling them what you're going to tell them. By acknowledging this problem they have, you are, in essence, indicating you're going to address this problem in some way. Then the subheadline completes the job by engaging them with the promise of the solution to that problem. Let's revisit our previous example. How to completely avoid devastating investment losses in the stock market. This headline interrupts any stock market investor who is deeply concerned or frustrated with this issue. And what investor isn't concerned about this? And it will not attract investors not worried about this issue. And since they won't buy what I'm selling to begin with, I don't want them attracted to my ad. But notice how the headline alone is telling them what I'm going to tell them. When they read this headline, it infers that additional upcoming information is going to address this situation. In fact, if I don't address this specific issue in the ad, the person reading or listening to the ad would suffer a major disconnect. The exact same disconnect takes place if you use our previous subheadline. 4 proven techniques help you know what to buy, when to buy it, and when to sell it for maximum profit. If the ad doesn't specifically address 4 techniques, the prospect suffers a total and complete disconnect. But notice how this subheadline engages the prospect by promising a solution to the problem addressed in the headline. It doesn't give the solution. It only promises there is a solution. The prospect must continue to read or listen to the ad to acquire that solution. And by indicating there is an upcoming solution, we have just completed the tell them what you're going to tell them component as well. Our qualified prospect was massively interrupted with a headline that addressed a problem they're trying to overcome. They were emotionally engaged with a subheadline that promised a solution to that major problem disrupting their lives. And simultaneously, our ad told them what we're going to tell them, that we're going to address this problem and give them a solution. We have preset an expectation in their mind, and now they're anxious to continue reading or listening to the ad to check out the proposed solution. Consider these additional headline-subheadline combinations. Are you sick and tired of the yelling, screaming, and belligerent attitude of your child? Learn the secrets to gaining and maintaining complete control of your child in less than 60 seconds. Ever feel like your child care treats your child like a number instead of a little person? Here's how to ensure your child gets personal, loving, caring, one-on-one attention at child care. All of these interrupt and engage while simultaneously telling the prospect what I'm going to tell them. Just remember that writing compelling headlines and subheadlines takes practice, patience, and a great swipe file. A swipe file is a collection of previously used, tested, and proven headlines and subheadlines that can be used as examples to help you get started developing the ones that will work for your business. We have our own personal swipe file online for your convenience. It's called the Headline Bank, and it contains more than 350 very successful headlines. You only need to change a few of the words in each headline to fit your specific business, product, or service. So be sure you use it. It will be a huge benefit to you as you create your very own competition-crushing marketing program. Now that we've interrupted and engaged our prospect and told them what we're going to tell them, it's time to educate them by providing them with significant information about how it is that your business delivers on the promise you made in the headline and subheadline. This important job falls on the shoulders of your body copy. Your body copy must convince your prospects that you have the best product or service available. And simply telling them that you're the best value isn't enough. You have to prove it. That's why your body copy must emphasize the benefits your prospects want, and not simply the features you offer. The most common mistake business owners make in their marketing is they focus constantly on their business's features and not on its benefits. Features tell, benefits sell. If your marketing focuses on features, then you're doomed to forever compete on price. When you focus on benefits, you compete on value. Remember the human fundamentals we discussed. Every prospect is looking for the best deal. They want the most value. They'll pay more if they think the value is greater than the price. Therefore, your body copy must inform your prospects about the extraordinary value you offer. Most of the time, you will need to innovate your business in order to create that value. So, focusing on your innovations is the key to marketing success. You must create value. That's what your prospects are looking for. And innovation is the way to create massive, extraordinary value. Although the body copy is the longest portion of your ad, you should still resist the temptation to include every bit of juicy information about what you do. Instead, focus only on one hot button at a time. You want to give your prospects just enough information to entice them to want to know even more. And remember the syntax we gave you in a previous model for writing body copy. Problem, solution, offer. Use subheadlines throughout your body copy to allow your prospects to quickly skim the ad if they prefer. Believe me, the majority will, so help them do that. And yet, as they're skimming, be sure you're still creating a compelling and convincing reason for them to take action in the end. Depending on the amount of room you have for your ad, the first 1 or 2 paragraphs in your body copy should focus on the problem referenced in the initial headline. Each paragraph should have its own subheadline. Then the next 1 or 2 paragraphs should explain the basic solution without going into tremendous detail. They should also have their own subheadlines. But remember that this is an ad, not an informational report. You want to educate them just enough that they see there's a valid, attainable solution to their problem. But they will need to take the action step in the end in order to get all the details. That's why the offer is so important, and you need to plan out your offer with tremendous care. If prospects feel threatened in any way by your offer, they'll never respond. By threatened, I mean subject to anything outside of their comfort zone. Ask a prospect to call you when they have no idea who you are or whether you're even legitimate is crossing the line. Prospects are afraid if they call, they'll be hammer dunked by some slick salesperson. On the other hand, they may be ready to speak with you, but instead you're offering them a free CD. That only increases their frustration level. So educate them enough to increase their curiosity and their desire for a solution to their problem. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them. The body copy is where you tell them. And finally, you must always end your marketing message with a compelling offer. Whether it's a postcard, a direct sales letter, a print ad, or television or radio commercial, a live presentation, a web page, no matter what form or format you use, every marketing piece needs to close with a compelling offer. If you don't, your prospects will simply walk away. They won't take any action at all unless you ask them to do so, and give them a very good reason why they should do so. Your offer has one purpose and one purpose only, to get your prospects to take a specific action. That's why the offer is often referred to as the call to action. Your compelling offer needs to be a low or better yet no-risk way to lead your prospect to take the next step in your sales process. The offer should be a major step toward resolving the problem that was presented in the headline. The description of your offer should sum up the promise of the headline and subheadline, which in essence is telling them what you told them. So, going back to our stock market investment ad, the body copy would address the 4 techniques and briefly explain how these techniques are different than what others are offering, and the extraordinary value they represent if the prospect applies them. The offer may be for a See for Yourself online webinar, where an actual real-time demonstration can be viewed during a live trade session at the New York Stock Exchange. That's a very compelling offer. So here's what we would do. We would create a series of compelling subheadlines in our body copy that follow the problem, solution, offer syntax. Our first subheadline might say, just when you think you have a winning strategy, you lose thousands overnight. That is obviously a big problem. So this subheadline satisfies the problem component of the syntax. Our second subheadline would say, revolutionary new software uses 4 simple techniques to ensure you win every time. Obviously, the software just referenced satisfies the solution component. In a short ad, that may be all the room we have to educate them on our solution. However, if the ad is larger, we want to list a second solution component to reinforce the extraordinary value we offer. Our next subheadline would say, what if we could guarantee you a minimum of 85% trading success rate? There's a second solution-based paragraph. We would then close our body copy with a transition paragraph leading to our offer that would say something like this. Here is your one opportunity to completely avoid any further devastating investment losses in the stock market. Let our 4 proven techniques help you know what to buy, when to buy it, and when to sell it for maximum profit. Notice this is simply restating the original headline and subheadline using a little wordsmithing, but now I'm telling them what I told them. Now go instantly into the offer itself. But don't take our word that this is the best investment solution ever. Check this revolutionary software out for yourself in a live trading session and see it happen right in front of your own eyes. Register now for our See for Yourself online webinar, where you can be a fly on the wall and witness an actual real-time demonstration during a live trading session at the New York Stock Exchange. Just enter your name and email address in the box to the right, and we'll instantly send you your private VIP link to the webinar. Hurry, space is limited. Well, are you compelled to attend that webinar? You are if finding a winning solution to stock trading is your hot button issue. If it's not, then you probably aren't the least bit interested. Good. Why would I want you to be interested? If you don't have that specific hot button issue in your life right now, then you won't want to buy my software. Remember, the fundamentals from earlier. Prospects buy what they want, not what they need. All that's left is to take this overall format and lay it out properly if you're using it as a print ad. We've placed a marketing template in your webinar workbook so you know exactly where all of this goes. It shows you step by step the most effective way to design and lay out any marketing piece you create. We have also placed this online as a Word document so you can download it and use it as a workable template. Just open a copy of the template and fill it in based on the guidelines provided. When you're done, just save it. Be sure to save it under a different name so you don't overwrite the original template. Now test the ad and make any tweaks or adjustments as required. Are you starting to see the true power of this compelling marketing process? By combining these two formidable formats, the end result is a marketing message so powerful and so compelling that it practically forces the prospect to read it, consider it, contemplate it, and finally, take action on it. We've been telling you all along that with all the proper components in place, you literally have an unstoppable combination of super powerful business growth fundamentals that will allow you to literally create competition-crushing marketing. This is how you create persuasive marketing. And as you can see, it's a process, not an event. Your competition is treating it as an event. They send out a postcard or build a website and then send back and wonder why their phone isn't ringing or no one is visiting their website. Do you realize that once you master the techniques we're giving you, that no one will be able to match your marketing expertise? You will blow your competition right out of the water. They'll never see it coming, and they certainly won't know what hit them. They will never understand why you have a waiting line of willing prospects ready to buy your product or service while their phone sits in their office dead silent. Let's go through several additional examples to make sure you fully understand this amazing process. Let's go back to our child care example. Let's assume the hot button issue for a child care parent is nutrition. Most parents today tend to be concerned as to whether their child is eating well and receiving proper nutrition, as well as healthy snacks. Unfortunately, when they ask the child what they had to eat that day, the child tells them they had a peanut butter sandwich for lunch and a Twinkie for a snack. Now, mom understands why little Susie or Johnny comes home from childcare every day hungry and crabby and has a difficult time making it to dinner time. There's the hot button for many childcare parents. So the headline must interrupt the prospects by addressing this issue. Does this headline fill the bill? Mommy, the food they give me at childcare is yucky. Any parent with a child in childcare is going to instantly be interrupted by that headline. Now, let's follow up with a subheadline that engages them by promising there's a solution. Wondering why your child comes home from childcare hungry and crabby? By stating this as a question, it implies that if they continue reading this ad, they will find the solution to this question. Do you also see how this headline, subheadline combination work together to tell them what we're going to tell them? We understand the problem they're facing in regards to their child's nutrition, and we're going to tell them the solution to that problem. Now we need to educate them, to tell them the solution in the body copy of the ad. And we have our syntax to follow to guide us so we write this effectively. Problem, solution, offer. So first, I create my subheadlines that will go into the body copy, keeping in mind that a vast majority of prospects will never read the smaller print, but instead will tend to scan the subheadlines. That means those subheadlines must convey the message I want to get across. So what do you think of these subheadlines? If your child care considers mac and cheese one of the 4 major food groups, read this. 2 questions about nutrition most child cares hope and pray you'll never ask. Most child care centers force teachers to double as cooks. We have certified nutritionists that make our meals healthy and tasty. Call for free report, 10 things your child care might not tell you. Notice how these 5 subheadlines offer a complete picture and yet remain compelling enough to practically force prospective child care parents to want to get their hands on that free report. The report allows me to fully expand on my innovative solutions since the ad doesn't allow me enough room to do that to the extent required. Notice as well that the first 2 subheadlines address the problem. The next 2 subheadlines begin to outline the solution, and the 5th subheadline is the offer, which is the call to action. But remember our basic components of tell them what you're going to tell them what you told them. The body copy is where we tell them. So the first subheadlines in the body copy work together to do exactly that, tell them. Together, they explain how our child care will solve the problem addressed in the headline and briefly outline the solution we promised in the subheadline. We can then go into the ad itself and write the actual body copy, using the subheadlines to guide us in knowing the right information to create and in the order to present it. When we get to the copy and the offer, we still have to tell them what we told them. This is where we simplify this by rewording the headline and subheadlines to form a compelling closure to this ad. The wording would sound something like this. The next time your child comes home from childcare hungry, crabby, and complaining that the food they receive is yucky, make sure you know how to ensure your child is receiving nutritious meals and snacks. Get this free report so you have all the facts. Show me just one parent who won't be making a mad dash to get their hands on that free report. And to make this even simpler for you, just use the ad template in your workbook. Notice it lists exactly where everything needs to go in the ad. In fact, you could write your headline and subheadlines in a Word document, tweak and refine that copy until you feel it's perfect, and then cut, copy, or paste the text directly into this ad template. Once you're satisfied with the overall content and flow, then you could write the body copy under each of the subheadlines. Remember that we have the ad template located conveniently online for your exclusive use. Simply copy and paste your text in the proper places in the template, and feel free to play around a little with the overall formatting, such as font sizes, different type styles, body italics, and so on. In the end, it should look something like this. Now, give it to a graphic designer and let them work their magic. Their final version would look like this. Notice this has a cartoonish style, which is very appropriate for a child care ad. In fact, this design helps to grab the attention of child care parents. I would obviously use a much more professional design if I had a doctor or a lawyer to create an ad for. But I think you get the point. Let's try one more and follow this exact same process. What if the hot button for child care parents involved education? What if every evening mom picks up little Susie or Johnny and notices them sitting in front of the TV day in and day out? One day, mom asks her child what they did that day, and the child says, "We watched TV." The mom says, "All day?" Once mom finds out that her child care is using the TV as a glorified babysitter, she now has a highly compelling and emotional hot-button issue that has just appeared in her life. Naturally, she wants a solution. So along comes my direct mail ad that has an interrupting headline targeting this problem and says, "Is your child care's idea of good educational curriculum watching Barney on TV?" My engaging subheadline promises a solution by stating, how would you like your child to be reading at a first grade level before starting kindergarten? These both work together to tell them what we're going to tell them. Now I need to tell them by educating them in the body copy. Knowing prospects scan ads, I create my subheadlines to convey the full message, following the problem, solution, offer syntax. There are two schools of thought when it comes to educating at child cares. Many child care centers are nothing more than day-long babysitting services. Your child will never watch TV here. We don't even have one. Here's what to expect from a child care specifically designed for accelerated children. Play or learn. Free report shows how 17 area child care centers stack up. These 5 subheadlines tell a compelling story that intrigues the prospects into demanding that free report. And just to make sure, after that final subheadline, which is the offer, I tell them what I told them by combining the headline and subheadline, so my statement reads, when your child care's idea of education is sitting in front of TV all day, let us show you how our child care can not only provide mentally stimulating activities, but actually have your child reading at a first grade level before entering kindergarten. Now, cut and paste everything into the online ad template located online, and your template should look like this. After the graphic designer completes their part of the process, the final version would look something like this. The main thing to notice here is that this is nothing more than a process. Yes, it does require copywriting skills to perfect the ultimate message, and hiring a great copywriter will typically be expensive, is often worth its weight in gold. However, it's also worth noting that your competition doesn't know one bit of this information. If you doubt that for even a moment, then just go out and get your hands on any of their marketing collateral. Then see for yourself if they're following the marketing equation, the 3 major tell them components, or using the problem, solution, offer syntax in their body copy. I dare you to find even one of your competitors that do any of this. Seriously, you won't. None of them do. What I'm saying is this. You may not be the best copywriter in the world. In fact, you may be flat out lousy at it. But if you simply follow this process, your ads will dominate your competition's ads every day of the week. Several years ago, we had a client who owned a moving company and ran a full-page ad in the local yellow pages. The ad was averaging 70 calls per month with a 17% conversion rate. Once they changed the ad to follow the marketing equation, they began to average 955 calls per month with a 68% conversion rate. They generated so much business with that ad that they had to partner with 4 competitive moving companies to handle their additional volume. Oh, by the way, those 4 partners bought out our client's moving company just 9 months later for $2.3 million. That's the power of the marketing equation. And when combined with these additional formats we've provided for you, there's no reason you can't create ads just as lucrative for your business. And don't forget to use the headline bank to help you create the perfect headline and subheadline as well. When you combine the headline bank with the ad template, you have at your disposal competition-crushing marketing tools that give you the ability to dominate your industry. All you have to do is follow this proven and tested process. You now know that process, and you have the marketing equation to guide you through it. If you apply this information, you should see a dramatic increase in the number of leads you begin to generate, the number of clients you begin to attract, and the amount of money you make. You now have the unprecedented ability to create competition-crushing marketing. Next, we'll continue with this same design and layout theme, but we'll put the focus on your website and landing pages so you can start attracting prospects to your site and generating a multitude of leads whenever you desire. We'll teach you the competition crushing techniques that will turn your website from a prospect no-show site into a lead generation magnet. Our overall focus is to help you continue to build the business you've always dreamed of having, a business that provides you with the financial freedom and an extraordinary life for you and your family. Remember that a primary goal in the e-learning marketing system is to help you quickly develop the processes that will bring more revenue into your business. Each presentation brings us closer to accomplishing that goal. So until next time, here's to your success.